Hi everyone and welcome to today's first lesson on the topic of body systems. To complete today's lesson you will need a pen and some paper. If you do not have them in front of you, please pause the video and go and find them now. As these lessons on body systems are an overview of the whole body systems topic, the first part of this lesson I'm going to be talking to you about the digestive system. So the challenge and aspire for this part is to state the different organs of the digestive system, and the aspire is to explain what each part of the different organs of the digestive system do. So today's starter, I'm going to give you a minute, and in that minute I would like you to write down what you think the function, and that's the job, of the digestive system is. Off you go. So hopefully you've got written down on your sheets of paper that the digestive system breaks down large food molecules into smaller food molecules that then can be absorbed into your bloodstream. So task number 1, I would like you on your sheets of paper to write numbers 1 to 10. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to label as much of the digestive system as you can. If you need to, the keywords are written in the box to help you. I am going to give you 4 minutes. Off you go. Okay, so let's go through the answers. So, number 1, hopefully you all have the mouth. Number 2 is the liver. Number 3 is the gallbladder. Number 4 is the large intestine. Number 5 is the rectum. Number 6 is the anus. Number 7 is the small intestine. Number 8 is the pancreas. Number 9 is the stomach. And number 10 is the esophagus. I'm now going to take you on the journey of food through our digestive system. So digestion starts inside the mouth by mechanical digestion of your teeth. So the whole point of your teeth is to break down large pieces of food into smaller pieces of food. Also inside your mouth, the salivary glands add saliva, and in your saliva there is a digestive enzyme which starts to break down large food molecules into smaller ones. You then swallow the food and it goes down the esophagus into the stomach. The stomach contains acid. The reason why the stomach contains acid is to kill any pathogens that you may have swallowed. Also, digestive enzymes are added in the stomach to break down food further, and the stomach is a muscle which helps to churn food to also break it down. The food then passes from the stomach into the small intestine. But there are 2 organs that are involved at this point that food does not pass through. The first organ is the liver. The liver produces a compound called bile, and the bile does 2 things. Firstly, it breaks down fats, and secondly, it helps to neutralize the stomach acid. It is stored in the gallbladder before it is squirted into the tube between the stomach and the small intestine. The pancreas also adds more digestive enzymes which helps to break down the food further. When the food reaches the small intestine, this is where the food molecules are small enough to be absorbed into the bloodstream, where they are then distributed around the body to all our cells and giving them their nutrients that they need. Then, once the food has passed through the small intestine, it then passes into the large intestine, where water is reabsorbed back into the body. The undigested food then gets stored inside the rectum, and then it leaves the body through the anus. The next task in today's lesson is to match the correct organ with what you think it does in the digestive system. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to write numbers 1 to 10 down the side of your page, and then all I'd like you to do is match it with the correct sentence. And if you can see at the end of the sentence there is a letter, so all you need to do is match the number with the letter. I am going to give you 4 minutes to do this. Off you go. Okay, time up. So let's go through now and mark the answers. So number 1, the mouth, goes with E, which is contains teeth which chew the food and break it down into small pieces, also contains saliva. Number 2 goes with B, food goes down this tube from the mouth and reaches the stomach, and that is the esophagus. Number 3, the stomach, goes with G, so food goes into here at the bottom of the esophagus where it is broken down. This organ contains acid too. Number 4, the small intestine, matches with I, so that food that has been digested is absorbed into the bloodstream here, which gets all the nutrients we need. Number 5 is the large intestine, so that matches with D. Any excess water is absorbed back into the body here. Number 6, which is the rectum, is matched with C, where feces, poo, is stored before it leaves the body. Number 7, the anus, matches with A, and that is where the feces is eventually pushed out of here when you go to the toilet. Number 8, the liver, matches with F, which produces bile, which helps to break down fats. Number 9, the pancreas, matches with H, so produces enzymes which help to break down the food. And number 10, the gallbladder, matches with J, which stores bile. Okay, so the next task is a fill in the blanks. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to write numbers 1 to 11 on your sheets of paper, and I would like you to write the word that is missing in the sentences. A little hint for you, if you are struggling with what word to find, they are in the key word box at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Off you go. Okay, so let's go through the answers. So the first one you should have should be the word teeth. And the second word that you should have should be chew. And then the final word that you should have should be saliva. So the sentence is mouth contains teeth which chew the food, also contains saliva. The next sentence, the two words that are missing, the first word is esophagus, so that is number 4. And number 5, the missing word is acid. So the sentence is the stomach is the organ at the bottom of the esophagus. It contains acid and churns the food and breaks it down. The next missing word is the bloodstream. So the small intestine is where nutrients are absorbed into our bloodstream. The next missing word is water. So the large intestine is where any excess water is absorbed back into the body. The next two missing words in the sentence are bile and fats. So the liver produces bile, which helps to break down fats. The pancreas produces the next missing word, which is enzymes, which helps to break down food. And then the last missing word is bile. So the gallbladder stores bile. So earlier, when I took you through the passage of food through the digestive system, I mentioned to you about a substance called an enzyme. So enzymes are proteins inside our body, and they help break down food into smaller molecules, which then can be absorbed in the small intestine into our bloodstream. So just some common names of enzymes that I would like you to recognize today. First one is amylase. So amylase is an enzyme that breaks down the carbohydrate food group, which is actually the largest food group that needs breaking down. And that's why amylase is in the saliva in the mouth, because that food group needs breaking down straight away. The next enzyme is lipase. So lipase breaks down fats. And the last enzyme group is the proteases, and they break down proteins. So now we've got to the end of the summary notes of this section of the lesson. So what I would like you to do is copy me down these points off of this slide. So the digestive system helps to break down large insoluble molecules into smaller soluble molecules which can be absorbed into the bloodstream. The stomach churns the food and contains acid. The small intestine is where nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream. The liver produces bile and the gallbladder stores it. Bile helps to break down fats. Enzymes are proteins, and some common enzymes are called amylase, lipase and protease. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to write down these summary notes. If you need any more time, please pause the video and complete the summary notes. So the next part of this lesson on body systems is on the circulatory system. So the challenge for this section is to describe how the heart is structured, and the aspire is to describe the components of the blood and explain what each part does. So the first question that I would like to ask you is, what is the circulatory system made up of? So I'm going to give you a minute and a half to write down your ideas. Off you go. Okay guys, so hopefully you have written down that the circulatory system is made up of the heart and blood vessels, and also the blood that delivers the nutrients that we need and other essential materials to our cells, and it removes waste products from them. Okay, so I'm first going to introduce to you the heart. Now, our heart is a very strong muscle. What I'd like you to all do now is put your fingers in the center of your chest where your breastbone is. And what I'd like you to do with your hand is roll it to the left-hand side and make a fist. That is thereabouts where your heart is located in your chest. Now, your heart is a very strong muscle. It's a muscle that is responsible for keeping all of the blood flowing around your body. And the human circulatory system is actually made up as a double circulatory system. So it has two separate circuits, and the blood passes through the heart twice, but in one full circuit. So one side of the heart pumps blood to the lungs, and if you look at the diagram, that is in blue, and the other side of the heart pumps the blood to the rest of the body, and that is in red. Now I have a question that I would like you to think about, and I'm going to give you again about 30 seconds to think about this question. The question is, why is one half of this diagram in blue? And the hint is your blood is never blue. So why is it shown as blue on the diagram? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds, think about it, and write down some answers. Off you go. So the answer to the question is the blue section on the diagram represents deoxygenated blood, and that's blood that has very little oxygen in it. The red section of the diagram is showing blood that contains oxygen, that is oxygenated. So I'm now going to talk you through how the heart pumps blood around your body. So firstly, your heart, so if we look at the diagram on the blue side of the heart first pumps blood to your lungs. And there, the blood picks up oxygen from the air that you breathe in. We now say that this blood is oxygenated. This blood, now carrying oxygen, then travels back to your heart. And this now is the red side. The heart then gives the blood a second push, and this time it pushes the blood all the way around the body to all your various organs and tissues. The blood then travels back to the heart, and then the whole system starts again. So now we'll look at the heart in a little bit more detail. The first thing that I want to point out to you is that if you look at the diagram that is on the screen, the left and the right are not the same left and right as if you look at them. How I remember it is the left-hand side of the heart is the left side as if it's in me, and the right side is the right side as if it's in me. So it's the opposite way round than what your left and right would normally be. Now the heart has 4 main chambers. It has 2 chambers at the top, which are slightly smaller, the left and the right atrium, and it has 2 chambers at the bottom, the left and the right ventricle, and they are slightly larger. Now, I have a question for you. The left-hand side of the heart is slightly thicker than the right. And I want you to think about the diagram that I just showed you on the previous slide about where the blood in that side of the heart goes to. And I want you to think why this might be. So why might the left-hand side of the heart be thicker than the right? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds again to write down some ideas. Off you go. So hopefully you have realised that the left-hand side of the heart has to pump blood to the entire body. And remember, the right-hand side of the heart only pumps blood to the lungs. And remember, the lungs are situated more or less next to the heart. So the left-hand side of the heart has a much bigger job to do. It has to give the blood a greater push. So that's why the heart muscle on the left-hand side is greater than the right-hand side. So now I want to talk to you about your heart beating. Your heart rate is the number of times your heart beats per minute, and this will change depending on your daily activity. A normal heart rate is between 60 and 100 beats per minute when you are resting. Now I have a question. How does your heart know when to beat? What I would like you to do now is I would like you to just jot down for me a few ideas as to what you think your heart does to make it beat. So I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. Off you go. So the answer to the question, how does your heart know when to beat? In your heart, you have a group of cells that are located in the right atrium. That is shown as a yellow star on the diagram. And that controls the natural rhythm of the heart. If for whatever reason this group of cells fail, people can be fitted with something called a pacemaker, and this may be something that you have heard before. And a pacemaker can be fitted and it will control and regulate the rhythm of the heart. So the summary for this section of the lesson is the heart is a muscle which pumps blood to the lungs to get oxygen and then pumps oxygenated blood around the body. The heart has 4 chambers. The top chambers are the left and the right atrium. The bottom chambers are the left and the right ventricles. And the pacemaker that controls your heartbeat is located in the right atrium. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to copy down these summary notes. If you need any more time than that, then please pause the video. Off you go.